I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact focused on personal growth, my Knowledge Workbook series and Creative Healing course can help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And in this video, we're going to be talking to you about anxiety will make you desperate.
Desperate. And that's a strong word.
And it's absolutely true. Anxiety and separation anxiety is one of the most scariest feelings you could experience. It takes over your body. It's like an alarm system that won't shut off. Mm-hmm. And you just feel like until I can turn off this alarm, it's going to make me crazy.
Yep. And it really consumes you. It can really take over your mind.
Yep.
And you can feel almost helpless to that feeling of anxiety. So we get it. And I want to say that there's this negative connotation with the word desperate, right? We often think of it as like someone who's pathetic or weak. They're just desperate.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about anxiety, it really makes you feel that level of panicked. Right? You feel like you'll do just about anything to feel better or to feel connected with that person again. And really, you will reach for anything that will give you that sense of safety. So that's why we use the word desperate in this scenario, really to describe anxiety, because that's what you're feeling, is that desperation. Please, I need help. I want to feel better.
And the desperation is you kind of feel like you're going to die without that person. And, you know, when it hit me years ago when I was trying to understand breakups and put this stuff together, when that hit me that's the root of it, it really started to make things feel like a lot more sense. Like, oh, no wonder why we can't shut it off. It's an alarm telling us we have to get close to our loved ones. Without them, we're going to die. Why? Because biologically, if you're an infant, if you're a child, you know, if you're a toddler, if you toddle away too far from your family, you could fall off a cliff, get eaten by a bear, or whatever, eat a poisonous berry, whatever it may be. So biologically, it is hardwired into us that when we get anxious, it can consume us. And we have a very difficult time turning it off until we feel close with our loved ones again. So understanding the biology of why this separation anxiety, you're separated away from your partner, the person that made you feel safe and protected, that is why you feel like you're dying without them. Because in a way, your biology, your unconscious mind is telling you, get back to those people, get back to that person. That's the only thing that's going to save you.
And you have to remember, at the end of the day, we're animals, right? We're all, I feel like this is a fantastic Mr. Fox quote. But truly, you know, so our emotions, they serve a purpose for our survival. And with anxiety, it's to alert us of danger. It's to alert us of threats. And it sends in our body just this surge of energy and adrenaline.
Yes.
That propels us into action. It causes us to escape threats. It causes us to move, to do something for our survival. And
That's right.
Sometimes in that breakup, you know, we talk about how there will be moments where you feel completely depleted and exhausted, but then there will be random moments where you could just get a surge of energy and you feel like you need to do something.
Exactly.
And this is also why no contact is so hard, is because, you know, we're kind of going against that burst of energy that our body is giving us that says connect, connect, connect.
I talked to a woman today. She was like, I knew I had to schedule with you because yesterday I was desperately on the verge of reaching out to my ex. And this was the only thing that was going to calm me down enough to say, don't do it.
Yeah.
You know, talking about it, talking with me about it. You know, you get so much anxiety and you're just, I have to do something. And I'm desperate.
Yeah.
I'll send a handwritten letter.
No.
Good reminder text.
I don't want to.
Clean slate message.
No, none of those things. No, don't do it. Don't do it. But I want to be clear that there's nothing pathetic about our bodies working the way that they were designed to protect ourselves. I know our anxiety, sometimes we can have a lot of shame around it. Like, I feel the need to reach out to them, or I'm feeling like very neurotic and I just want to connect and I just want to do something to feel close to them.
Yep.
This is our bodies acting the way that they're meant to act, so just remind yourself of that if you start to feel shame for being anxious, which I know a lot of us do.
Yeah.
And sometimes this mechanism that was created in order to protect us can turn on us. When we start to feel anxiety in situations where there are no real threats, or in situations where that anxiety just isn't helpful and we just struggle with it. Our anxiety can impact our relationships a lot. I think one of your most viral videos is all about that, how anxiety is one of the main factors in breakups.
Yeah.
And it's not because anxiety is like contagious or anything, but it can overwhelm our partner. That
Absolutely.
That feeling of doubt can really creep into our partner, can make them feel suffocated, overwhelmed. And so that's how it can also affect relationships. And that's where that anxiety can turn on us. When we've learned or developed from early on that we need to be aware of everything around us and everything can be a threat, because maybe we grew up in environments that taught us that.
Yeah. And, it's interesting because even though your ex got anxious in the relationship and maybe lost emotional self-control, they're quick to judge you about your anxious behaviors, whether they're going to tell you or not, but they're going to get turned off by your anxious behaviors. That's why we're telling you don't do those things, right? Because for some reason, it makes us lose attraction, even though they've been anxious before. They've maybe blown up your phone before. Maybe they drove past your house before.
Yeah.
And yet they'll judge you for doing the very thing that they've done.
It's because they're feeling calm.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not anxious in the moment.
You got it. That's the truth. It's because in that moment, they're not anxious over losing you because they're the one that pulled away. But if you had pulled away in the relationship, they probably felt a lot of anxiety, maybe blew up your phone and did things to turn you off.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting because it's basically like who's in the moment less anxious over the situation.
Yeah.
But when you feel that space build up, and for each person, it's different. And that is often based on how secure or insecure you are, how you were treated in your childhood. The more secure people are able to soothe themselves, right? Like you've heard me talk about my kids, that from the time they were infants, whenever they were crying or upset, I'd say, you're okay, just constantly repeat it to them over and over again. So they learn to internalize my voice and soothe themselves. And it really made a difference with them. So now they're able to soothe themselves easier than the kids that were just yelled at, screamed at, left in a corner, told, be quiet or I'm going to give you something to cry about, which many of us grew up in homes like that. It was a lot more volatile in my childhood than it is for my kids.
Yeah.
Right? So I understand what you're going through because I had stepfathers that had some serious issues, right? And so that's why I was so devastated in my breakups. And that's why I'm so passionate about understanding this stuff, is because I know what it's like for you guys. I've been there, have those desperate feelings of like, we just have to talk about it. We just have to talk about it. If we just talk about it.
Yeah, and it's wild. Yeah, our anxiety really does give us that sense of urgency. Like we need to solve all these problems right now. And right now is the only opportunity we're going to have to fix it, and it's going to be gone forever if not. Or we're going to be in such big danger if we don't fix it right now. And so that sense of urgency can push us to do behaviors that we might even be shocked at ourselves, especially after the breakup sometime, and we get to a place where we're a little bit more emotionally regulated and a little bit calmer. We look back like, gosh, what was I thinking? What was I doing? I was panicking and freaking out and trying to do everything all at once. And so sometimes, we look back when we're more regulated and see what our anxiety behaviors can be interpreted as. Yeah.
You're embarrassed by yourself. You're like, I can't believe I did that.
Yeah.
You've blown up your ex's phone, like 38 calls in a row. What's the one that you see all the time? That is like, how many thousands of times this woman, and she got arrested for it. I can't even remember. It was like 27,000 times.
It was like the news headline, yeah.
It was like, how did she even do that? It was like 0.3 seconds every time she would call back. But you know, of course she had massive major trauma to be like that, right? That's an extreme situation. You kind of laugh about it, but it's like at the same time, whatever happened to her to get like that is horrible and sad.
Yeah.
You know?
And our anxiety, it drives us to do that. It gives us that sense of urgency. It can also look like stalking our partner.
Look like stalking or actually be stalking?
Or both. Both. It can
You
look
know-
like it, and it could be driving by their homes. It could be peeking through their windows. Don't
We've
do
had
that.
that. We've had that.
We have had,
I've
we've
that.
had, you know, showing up at their location. Just be careful. We don't want you to get restraining orders, and we're serious.
I heard a new one.
What was it?
Okay, I know you haven't heard this one yet.
Okay.
Okay, you ready? Brace
Yeah.
yourself. This is really wild.
Tell me.
Spying through their doggy cam.
From inside the house?
Yeah. Like
Oh.
they have a doggy camera, and the worst part is that's how she caught the guy cheating. Yeah, that
Through
was
the
a new one.
same cam?
The camera that they had to make sure that dog was okay, she logged into the camera, and that's how she saw the guy cheating.
Wow.
That was like, well, that's a first. I've not heard that one before. We've heard some wild ones,
I can
but
see a lot of partners now getting doggy cams. We don't even have a dog. It's for
just in case.
It's for the mice.
I feel like we've got bugs. Yeah, this is the bug right here. This listening device.
So our anxiety causes us to feel like we need to know something urgently. It can also look like interrogating our ex or interrogating our partner, asking them every question under the sun to try to squeeze out all the information that we need to feel safe, or that we think we need to feel safe.
Yeah.
It can be obsessing.
Did you hear about the lady who makes her husband answer a lie detector test every time he comes home?
Wow. Now that's women in STEM.
Wow. I mean, that's crazy.
That is.
Could you imagine, like, even if he's late by a few minutes, she's like, get on the lie detector. Why not just follow him everywhere? Wouldn't that be easier?
I don't know. If you just happen to have a lie detector test lying around, might as well put it to good use.
Yeah, it's just wild. But, you know, that's what anxiety can do to us, make us desperate. That's what we're talking about,
Yeah.
desperation.
It can cause us to demand reassurance. It can cause us to try and control what our partner or our ex does, sometimes even after the relationship. So, you know, just be mindful of what behaviors in your life are being driven by that anxiety, driven by that sense of, I need to do this in order to feel safe. And think about how that anxiety feels in your body. Sometimes there are things that, you know, we think about and make decisions towards that are wise decisions for a future and to protect us and keep us safe. But sometimes when we feel that sense of urgency, when we feel like it's overtaking us, we really have to be mindful of that.
This is why I said years ago, one of my early videos, I said the real reason relationships fail is because of anxiety, because it leads to so many issues. The anxious avoidant trap, controlling behavior, manipulative behavior, because of that fear. And we get fear of closeness, we get fear of abandonment, and then we get caught up in this cycle and a million different fights. And, you know, of course, communication is important, but to me, anxiety is what causes most relationships to fail.
And this is why self-soothing is so important. I know we've talked a lot about anxiety, where it comes from, how it can affect our relationships. But
You're
how,
okay.
Yeah, how to
You're
work on
okay.
it is really being able to self-soothe. And this can look different for each person. And you can learn anxiety management skills in counseling and therapy, which we always encourage. Of course, we have the workbooks and the course, which are also great resources.
The course especially, because we have like nine
we have a lot.
sets of audio affirmations, and
Yeah, we have a lot in there.
we have some creative visualizations where you just listen to things to help soothe you and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of mindfulness techniques, and along with, you know, being active and doing things that can help you feel more grounded overall.
Yeah, it helps get rid of those stress hormones that are released in your body after a breakup. So it is really good to be active.
Yeah, and you also want to be mindful that an important part of working through the anxiety is understanding at what point in your life did that mechanism initially intended to protect you, at what point did it start to go haywire?
Yeah.
Meaning, at what point did you learn that love is threatening? At what point did you learn that people are going to abandon you at a blink of an eye, right? And start to uncover those experiences maybe from childhood that may be influencing how anxious you get and maybe affecting that, because that's really where we can almost like reverse engineer and say, okay, what messages did I grow up with? What beliefs were instilled with me through those experiences? And how can I undo those now as an adult?
Yeah. And when that trauma happens earlier in life, it can be harder to put words to it because you didn't have words at the time of the trauma. Right? So like in my case, my dad and my mom split up when I was like, I don't know, like a year and a half old. So imagine having an active dad who was, you know, heavily involved, and all of a sudden now he's completely gone. And my mom and him have a crazy, turbulent divorce that leads to arguing, fighting, a lot of anger, hurt, resentment. And so, of course, now, but you have me who's a little, you know, 2-year-old just wondering what happened to the dad that was playing with me every day, you know, and now my mom is crying every day and upset. And it's like, so when you have early trauma like that, it can be particularly impactful on you in your relationships as you become an adult.
Yeah. So uncovering those experiences and the feelings around those experiences is really important. Now, on the flip side, your confidence, as you grow in confidence and heal through those traumas, through those experiences, it does say, I will be okay. It does say, I am safe. It says, I can miss someone. I don't need answers right at this moment. It says, there can be things that I don't know right now, and I could still be present with life that is happening. I can still make decisions for myself moving forward. So that's really what we hope we can instill in you, is just that hope in moving forward and thinking about how to build that confidence to manage the anxiety. Self-soothing, yes, but through that self-soothing, knowing I've been anxious before and I've been able to soothe myself. I've been anxious again and I've been able to soothe myself. I'm getting better at this.
Yeah.
Now I'm feeling less afraid. Now I'm feeling like I show up differently in my relationships. Now I'm noticing this new side of myself that I'm learning, because now I feel safe and I can be creative and I can connect with people on different levels. So that's really what we hope for you.
Put words to it the best that you can. You know, take a look at the creative healing course, of course, because there's a lot of activities, even like the art therapy activities, is trying to help you process unconscious things that we can't quite put words to help you heal through that and heal through your breakup. Of course, if you want to get our help personally, you could do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Zoom calls. Coach Victoria is also available for Zoom calls.
I'm here whenever you'd like to chat.
Just click on her name on the top of the website to schedule with her. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.